It's possibly the worst SMG of the class, yet it has provided me with two of the best games I've had on Vanguard to date. Thanks for tuning in to another Road to Gold featuring the Sten submachine gun. Welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm Deathtrap. We are continuing the Road to Atomic grind and have taken down the second SMG on the list. The Sten returns from past World War II era titles, and I'll be honest with you, this iteration isn't very good in its base state. Its base damage puts it at a 4 to 6 shot kill in core modes, and it has heavy vertical and horizontal recoil, especially at the end of the magazine. It also has high idle sway, making it a very poor gun at range. Now there is some potential for a 3-shot kill up close, but you will need to land one headshot mixed in with 2 to the upper torso to pull it off. Using this weapon, I personally would recommend you to go into a small maps playlist, especially Ship House if it's in current rotation, and get in the habit of closing the gap and picking off unaware enemies, as generally you'll be fighting a losing battle, especially if the enemy sees you first. Now the good thing about this gun is that it has some of the best handling stats as far as any weapon in the game goes, making it perfect for hip firing and strafing around corners for those close engagements, giving you the initial upper hand. There is really only one attachment to keep an eye out for that makes the gun a little bit more competitive in general gameplay, and that's the 45 ACP 20 round mag that gives a weapon a 3-shot kill potential in the close range. It's unfortunately a rather late attachment unlock, I believe, but it does come on the Wildwood blueprint given if you happen to pre-order the game. If you're more of a hardcore playlist type of player like myself, the Sten has a 1-shot kill potential only in the upper torso at close range, and in the head at medium range. Otherwise, it's always going to be a 2-shot kill. Even in hardcore, I still recommend you to do your initial weapon level grind in small maps with close range engagements, as I'll be very honest with you. I had a hell of a time in the beginning, because I tried to use it well outside of its limits. Getting into the Camo Challenges, you'll naturally get the 400 eliminations for pack tactics by going for the other camos. The Sten actually has 2 instances of challenges that need 100 headshots. One for the surgical category that unlocks really early in the weapon level grind, if not at level 1. And another instance way down the road at level 70 that requires a few attachments. Definitely don't feel the need to push for headshots until later, but you'll most likely get the initial set done very early, just due to the gun's recoil. The 50 multi-kills for Predatory Ambition is another one of those challenges that is almost a given to unlock while going for the other challenges. Especially if you stick to my recommendation of a small maps playlist, we are guaranteed to find enemies close together many times over. The toss-up comes at level 20, which has you get 5 kills without dying 30 times for the Reptilian challenge. If you have the Wildwood blueprint I mentioned earlier, you can play a little bit more aggressively here, as you'll be able to compete decently against foes that use the meta weapons. The odds will still be against you, but at the very least you'll luck into the few bloodthirsties with its attachments. If you don't have it, however, and want to make progress now, a more tactical approach will be needed, as your attachments will be limited. Consider using traditional 6v6 maps, but don't fight enemies from the front unless you get the jump on them around in the corner. Rather, flank from the side and try to pick off enemies that are by themselves. If they're too far out, just don't even engage, and keep it moving, as trying to get them from a distance is just going to result in you dying and resetting your streak. Running the kill streaks intel and spy plane will help you here, as will forward intel at perk 2, which will help you figure out where to flank. It'll probably be boring, but at least you'll make consistent progress while leveling. You could also go into hardcore where you have more of a fighting chance with lesser attachments, as long as you consistently get your shots off first. If you have reached level 70, and have completed all other camo challenges except for bloodthirsties, I provided a hardcore build that hopefully will help you as it helped me. The next category that unlocks is at level 30, and is 100 long shots for the Deadeye challenge. But we're actually going to skip those for a little bit, as there's an attachment challenge later on that pretty much works perfectly for them. For the next 2 sets of challenges, we'll be headed back to small maps. The 100 close range kills for Berserker will unlock naturally as we proceed to grind out the rest of our camos. The Wildcat 100 hipfire kill challenge that is unlocked at level 50, it always gave me a bit of a problem, because I very rarely hipfire unless I get surprised by an enemy out of nowhere. Definitely throw on Gung Ho to give that immediate sprint to fire speed, and attachments such as the SA41S wire stock and the Hawkinson 174mm barrel to help you aid in hipfire accuracy. It might take a little while, and you'll probably die more often than normal, but you'll have it completed in just a few games of Shipment or Das Haus. As we go throughout weapon levels, at level 60 we start getting into the attachment challenges. Starting us off is Survivalist, which requires you to get 100 ADS kills with the Hawkinson 248mm burst barrel, the 45 ACP 20 round fast mags, and the Gawain custom stock equipped. This challenge couples very nicely with the long shot challenge, as the required attachments are more suited for a kill at medium to long distance build. If you do couple these challenges, definitely do it in a hardcore playlist, where at most, a long shot kill will be 2 hits. There is a little difference from the SMG longshot distance of 30 meters to the final damage drop-off of the distance of the Sten's ACP ammo, so you may see one-shot longshots from time to time. Now try using the semi-automatic fire mode here. It just absolutely helped me a ton when I finally switched. Up until that point, I had a bunch of issues at range, but once I finally switched to the semi-automatic fire mode, they completely went away. As far as maps go, look for ones with long sightlines overlooking lanes towards neutral objectives, in modes like Domination and Hardpoint. I personally like Demansk, Paradise, and Subpins for their longer engagement viewing angles. You'll most likely still need quite a few long shots after these ADS kills are complete. Now you can either continue to do the long shots until they're done, especially if you haven't unlocked that next category tier yet, or you can save this as a custom mod build for later, and come back to it after possibly getting a few more of these long shots doing the last 2 challenges. Continuing with those challenges, next at 65 we have Mind Games. To complete it, you're going to need 100 kills while moving with the 7.62 Gorenko 32 round mags, the Gawain Parastock, and the Steady Proficiency equipped. Now, I never really found getting kills while moving that difficult, especially with SMGs, as it just felt more natural than standing still. But the challenging part is switching to these mags, which are just absolutely awful in my opinion. They take away that base 3 and 4 shot kill potential, so now it's a 5 to 6 shot kill in the limbs. You can make it a 4 shot kill in the close range as long as one of the 4 is a headshot, and at medium range if 2 of the 4 are headshots. But honestly, just save yourself the hassle and make quick work of it in Hardcore Shipment and Das Haus. One thing the 7.62s are good for is for accuracy and handling, so you should have little issue two-tapping any enemy in your way. And if you're able to land those headshots at close to medium range to make it a 1-shot kill, well, that's just a bonus. And finally at level 70, we have Death Artist, which has you get 100 headshots, the Hawkinson 348mm B13S barrel, 9mm 20 round mags, and the Steady Proficiency equipped. And as I'm sure you've noticed, this is that second set of headshots that I had mentioned earlier. Unfortunately, you have to use the barrel that's great for headshots, but that's not so great at killing overall if you have trouble landing them. If possible, try to aim your headshot slightly below the neck and just let the recoil naturally rise it to a headshot. You might have to make it a little bit tighter in the close range, as landing a headshot will only require 1 more hit to kill that enemy in core. It's definitely one of those high risk, high reward type of attachments. In hardcore, if I'm seeing the correct damage values for the barrel right, it's a 1-hit headshot at all ranges. If you can line your shot up decently, it might be worth it to get those extra long shots if you need them. Just make sure to use a decent optic like the G16 2.5X to bring down that idle sway. Also, the good news in hardcore is that this barrel doesn't limit you as much here, as it's a 2-shot kill anywhere else at all ranges. Stick to small maps in core, and only go to the bigger maps in hardcore if you still need more long shots. With the final challenge done, you have a new golden SMG added to your collection, and are 1 step closer to unlocking Diamond and Atomic Camo if you so choose. And let's be honest here, if you're going for this weapon, you're at the least going for Diamond SMGs. But let me know your thoughts of the Sten in the comments below. Did it offer some highs with the lows as it did for me? Or has it been just completely awful for you the entire time you've used it? Like always, any feedback to make future videos better is appreciated, as is a like rating if you enjoyed this content. Thanks again for stopping by. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Catch you on the next one. Peace.